What's up? I'm Timmy Hayes. Welcome to my channel. This is mainly a music channel, but I kind of do whatever I want on the channel. So it's mainly music, but there's poetry, vlog videos, and other stuff as well. You can see in the playlist and whatever. So this is just a vlog video. Um, I guess I feel like I have to make one because it's been exactly 1 year now since my father died. So, um, I kind of talked a little bit about this in the first vlog video I made. That one was called "It's Been a Hard Year." Um, Now it's been exactly 1 year. At that time, I talked about it had been a year since I had gone through a breakup, and then my father had died a few months later. So now it's been 1 year exactly to the day where my father died. I guess I'm not really going to talk about like my father or the night that it happened. Just suffice it to say, like, it was a life-changing event. If you look, if you Google Timmy Hayes, or if you look at my catalog or what I've uploaded, you'll see that there's not much before 2020. There's some, but especially if you go on Spotify and you look at like how much music I uploaded there, there's one song from 2018, and I think one or two songs from 2019, and then the rest is from 2020. That's because after my father died, I've always had this mindset that death 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 is it's right underneath the surface of all things. We all die. We all go through it. It's life's greatest mystery, and it's life's greatest constant. It's what we know is going to happen to each and every one of us. We will all die one day. So with that in mind, I had watched a show when I was younger called 1000 Ways to Die, and there was one episode where a woman had a brain aneurysm and she just dropped dead on the table, and that's something that stayed with me. And since I was young, I've never been afraid of death. I always felt like I would die young and early, and I lived very recklessly, and that's something I'll get into some other time. But especially during like my teenage years and early 20s, I was quite wild, and uh, though I had passions and interests, I would say I was relatively unfocused, and I was depressed, very extremely depressed for a long time. I contemplated suicide since I was a young age because I didn't really see the point of living. Death, it could come at any time, and it was, probably not far away, and I didn't see the point of, other people seemed very assured in their lifestyles and destinies. Like, you get a job, you earn wages, and you make a family and have kids, and then you're happy, right? And the older I got, the more disillusioned I was with that idea. I mean, since the early age, I knew that I didn't want children. I also said I didn't want to get married ever. These days, I'm like, I could get married, if I met the right person. I still never want kids, but, and I always have to put the little disclaimer, I have nothing against children or people who have children. I think it's really cool if you're a good parent. That's a very important societal role to take on. Because if you say you don't want kids, people are like, oh, you hate children. That's not what it is. Just not interested in it. Not interested in being a father. And if you want to be a father, that's the main thing. You should want to do it and have the means to work to be a good father. It's a task that should not be taken lightly. So, yeah, I was depressed for a long time, and then when I was still trying, to live a life that um, I put meaning to, but I suppose it's strange. Like I was fully realized in what I wanted to do and needed to do. It's just I was putting things on a back burner, and I was saying to myself like, oh, I'll do these things later when I have more time or when I'm done with this thing. And life does get in the way. Those 2.5 years I was in a relationship, I went back to school. I was focused on other things besides music, and that's another thing. Like, music is my focus right now. Music is the main focus of my life, but it's not everything. Life is, music needs life, and life needs music. The same goes for art or whatever. Like, we have to live and experience, right? But after that relationship ended, between that time and the time my father died, my father was, I don't want to use the word pushing, but let's say encouraging me to get a new job, right? And the thing is, I'm very comfortable with the job I have right now. I'm not going to go into too many details, but it allows me a great deal of me time, so I'm able to focus on my interests. So I was able to study and go back to school and pursue my interest with the job that I have. So before my father died, I realized, like, why am I putting off music? And I started focusing more on music. But it really wasn't until my father died that it hit me full force in the face, like what I had realized before about, like, the aneurysm and stuff. So my father died in a motorcycle accident, and it's strange. My father was he was born in 1961. So how old was he? He wasn't 60 yet, I don't think. 20... He was either 60 or close to 60, but that's not. I mean, we can argue about age, but the average human lifespan is a good around 20 more years. I'm 27 now. I was 26 when my father died. So, like, that's a majority portion of the life that I've led. He had that much left. Probably. So, it was very sudden, and it's different when you ponder ideas like, death is inevitable and it could happen at any time. It's not until you experience it close up that you realize that. And I'm from a first world country, and I've lived in relatively privileged circumstances. I grew up low to middle class. My parents grew up not wealthy, but they built a secure foundation for their children. So I was able to grow up, in safe neighborhoods, and I always was provided for, and I had luxuries as a child as well. So I didn't grow up in the projects. I didn't grow up, you know, I have some friends who grew up like in crack houses and shit, and other people who witnessed murders and shit from a young age. And then you look and there's um, kids from war torn countries and things like that. I wasn't exposed to anything like that, so Although I have experienced death in my life, it's never been someone so close to me. Uh, well, besides like relatives, I'm saying like a direct family loved one, or I've also been lucky where none of my closest friends have died yet. So when it happened, I wouldn't say logically it changed my perspective of things because I've thought of these things already, but emotionally it did change things because now I feel very feverish in a way, like really, like I wake up and I want to live. I Yeah, depression and stuff like that comes and goes. My emotional state is always in flux and kind of in turmoil, so I'm very careful about how I manage my emotions and who I let into my life and how I interact with my environment. But my point is, I feel like I've reached like this fever pitch of things, and that's not to say that I don't take breaks and whatever, but I've become like hyper focused on the things that I have to do, and that's the only thing that matters is what I'm doing and what I feel I have to do. So all the ideas that have been twisting and turning in my head for years, I'm like, now is the time for me to uh, do these things. So I've been pumping out a lot of stuff. Just like I said, beginning in 2020, pretty much after my father died, is really when I started doing things. And um, yeah, it's kind of a shame because my dad really liked music, so I think he would get a kick out of seeing the stuff I've made. And it's sad, like we don't get to share our lives with someone once they're gone. But that's the thing, right? Death binds us all together, and we have to learn to live with that. And we have to treasure the time that we have right now. Like a lifetime is a lifetime. It's the longest thing you'll ever do, but every day, there's only so much time in a day. And that, sometimes we got to do shit we don't want to do. That's all part of it, but taking what reality presents to us and trying to work towards what fulfills us seems to be the most logical and best approach to life to me. Like, it's very simple. We pursue what brings us joy. We pursue happiness. And that's what I've been doing because I don't know when I'll die. It could be now, it could be in 50 years. Oh my god, wow. I could live longer than that. I could live like 60, 70 more years cuz I could actually live 70 more years cuz I'm 27. There's people who live that long. And with technological advancements, we can live a lot longer. Jeez, that seems too long for me. Give me like 20 more years and I'll be good. I'll be like, yeah, I'm ready to go. But who knows? Maybe when 20 years has passed, I'll be like, dang, I love life too much. I want to stick around. Yeah, I mean, these days I really appreciate life. Life is beautiful. I'm not trying to say this in like a idyllic kind of hyper idealized kind of way. Like, life is horrible sometimes. It's full of shit, right? But at the same time, it's like an incredible work of art. There's so much going on all the time, and there's great pleasure to be had in life. There's great joy and fulfillment, and there's so much to do, and there's so much that has already happened, and there's so much that will happen. The things that are happening now, like we may predict and we may have ideas of what will come, but none of us know what the future holds. It's an adventure. It's fantastic, and we learn as we go. I mean, I still make mistakes. I still fuck things up, and commit wrongdoings towards others. But as we grow and learn, we become, at least I would hope most of us, we try to make amends, and fix our flaws and become better people. Hopefully most of us. Some people go the other way. They become shittier people. But I feel great about life and my life. And I fucking love my life. I love being Timmy Hayes. And, I don't have much internet clout. No, not many people know who I am or fuck with my shit. But that's okay. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I have fun with what I'm doing. And music is something inexplicable to me. It's the most beautiful thing in the world, and it can be funny as well. It can be whatever you want it to be. Music is this thing that just warps and wraps around us and enfolds us, and it's one of the great expressions of life and the soul. And it's like you have a tree, and the tree is beautiful itself, but when flower blossoms bloom on the tree, then you see it's more than beautiful. It's magnificent. It's spectacular. It's brilliant. And you want to stare at it all day long. And that's the thing, right? That's the difference between being alive and living, or survival and living. So it's been a year now since my father died. It was hard, but I actually like where my life is right now, and I miss my father. Yeah, I do. I wish he was still alive. But at the same time, his life was glorious in its own way. And, we talk about loved ones living through us, and my father was a good father. I mean, he was human. He made mistakes, like all of us do. But he was a good father. He was kind-hearted, and yeah, I learned a lot from him. And if we think about people living through us, I would like to embody his best qualities and the things he taught me, and live a fun, good life, and, as much as I can, hopefully help others along the way, or bring some kind of entertainment to them at least, because music is entertainment. Art is entertainment. Entertainment's incredibly important, but in essence, that's what it is. It's what gives us the spark and what makes us realize that reality has uh, fun and good things and joy and all that stuff. So, yeah, thanks for listening. I've got some new songs coming out that I'm working on right now. They're going to be comedy songs, kind of meme songs. But yeah, I hope you got something out of this. And peace out.